I feel very strongly about the GOAT debate. He had arguably, this is arguable, arguably the greatest 8-year stretch any player's ever had in the history of the league. He arguably has the highest peak of any player ever. The 27-game win streak, should have won Defensive Player of the Year, one vote away from being first ever unanimous MVP, being the best offensive and defensive player in the league while almost shooting 60% from the field for a season. And he is just by eye test and by measurables, the greatest raw athlete the league has ever had at his size, speed, strength. So he's the greatest young player ever, the greatest old player ever, maybe the greatest prime ever, maybe the highest peak ever, did it longer and more than anyone ever.
If a 41-year-old LeBron James comes out and lead this Laker team to a first-round victory, being a heavy underdog, I don't want to hear anything about the GOAT conversation.
For you to last this long, you had to sacrifice a lot in your 1920s, Like this is not someone who's just one summer just figuring out, oh shit, let me start working out in September. Nah, we've watched it. He's given us the blueprint. Think about it. Go back. You can go through his Instagram. After every championship or when they lost, 48 hours later, he's posting he's in the gym. He's done shown that 48 hours later, he's in the gym working out for the next season, already working on his body. So he didn't let his body get out of shape. So he's shown us, we just blind.
There's no way in hell you're going to ask a 41-year-old LeBron James to come in and lead in this tough Western Conference to try to lead this Laker team without Luka and Austin Reaves and win the series. Nah, it ain't happening. And to be honest with you, if I was the Lakers, I would just go ahead and shut Luka down for the season.
Right now, I want you to look at the screen and witness something that should be physically impossible. We are talking about a 41-year-old man, 109 days into his 5th decade on this planet. According to the history of the NBA, at this age, you are supposed to be a memory. You're supposed to be sitting in a broadcast booth or coaching a high school team. But instead, LeBron James just kicked Father Time's teeth in. The media spent the last 48 hours dancing on the Lakers' grave. They saw the injury report, no Luka Doncic, no Austin Reaves. They started salivating. They called the Lakers dead men walking. They told us the Houston Rockets, a team full of 20-year-old track stars, were going to sprint past LeBron James and leave his legacy in the dust. They said Game 1 would be a massacre. They were right, it was a massacre, but they had the victim wrong. While the haters were busy checking their spreadsheets, LeBron James was busy liquidating the entire Houston franchise. We aren't just talking about a playoff win. We are talking about the ultimate mic drop in the GOAT debate. If you are still clutching your Michael Jordan 1998 highlights like a security blanket, I've got a cold-blooded reality check for you. Your GOAT couldn't do this. Jordan at 40 was a shell. Kobe at 37 was breaking down. LeBron James at 41, he's playing daddy ball against the future of the league and making them look like toddlers in a driveway. This isn't just longevity. This isn't just staying around. This is a hostile takeover of the NBA postseason by a man who refuses to age. We are officially entering the endgame of the GOAT debate, and there is only one king left standing. If you're not excited, you don't have a pulse. If you're not shocked, you're not paying attention. Welcome to the era of the undisputed real GOAT. Sit down, shut up, and witness the impossible.
Let's stop the world for a second and look at the cold, hard, undeniable facts from this Game 1 massacre. LeBron James didn't just step onto the floor and play basketball. He conducted a surgical, high-intensity symphony that left the Houston Rockets paralyzed. We are talking about a man who walked into the locker room at halftime with 10 assists. Think about the sheer gravity of that number for a second. There are all-star point guards in their prime who struggle to record 10 assists in an entire playoff queue, and this man did it in 12 minutes of action at 41 years old. He is officially the oldest human being in the history of the NBA to record 10 assists in a game, and he didn't even need the second half to break the record. Kendrick Perkins called it daddy ball. I'm calling it a full-scale psychological liquidation. LeBron James walked into the painted area and treated the Rockets defense like a group of toddlers playing in a driveway. This wasn't some finesse game. This was raw, unadulterated strength mixed with the highest basketball IQ to ever exist. He took those young Rockets defenders to the low block, backed them down with 5 or 6 calculated, punishing dribbles, and showed them what grown man strength looks like. No help came. No double team arrived. Why? Because Ime Udoka's squad had absolutely no game plan for a man who knows their defensive rotations better than they do. You cannot scheme against a genius who is also the strongest person on the court. He operated as a wholesale distributor. With Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves on the sidelines, everyone expected LeBron to go for 50. Instead, he decided to create superstars out of everyone else. He turned DeAndre Ayton into a rim-wrecking monster. He turned Luke Kennard into a human flamethrower. He looked at a roster that the media called depleted and weak, and he willed them into a state of perfection. He didn't have his usual safety nets. He didn't have his elite secondary playmakers. He just had his mind, his sheer physical will, and a burning desire to humiliate anyone who dared to call him an underdog. When you see a 41-year-old man who has played more minutes than almost anyone in history, driving to the left, initiating heavy contact, and throwing in tough contested and one shots like it's a light Sunday morning run, you realize the NBA has a catastrophic problem. The Houston Rockets had no answer because there is no answer for a man who has mastered every single facet of the game. He didn't just beat Houston, he liquidated their confidence. He exposed their youth as inexperience and their speed as recklessness. This wasn't just a masterclass, it was a hostile takeover of the next generation. The king isn't just holding his ground, he's taking yours, and there isn't a damn thing you can do about it.
Now, let's get controversial. Let's stop protecting the feelings of the nostalgia merchants and talk about the names you love to throw in the king's face like they're some kind of untouchable gods: Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. We love MJ, we respect the 6 rings, we worship the Mamba mentality, but if we are having a real conversation about the GOAT, we have to stop living in a fairy tale and look at the cold, hard reality of how their stories ended. When Michael Jordan was 40 years old, he wasn't conquering the world. He was a human being breaking down in real time for the Washington Wizards. He was literally draining fluid from his knees in the locker room just to survive 40 minutes of basketball. He wasn't a threat. He was a shell of the black cat who failed to even drag his team into the playoffs. He was mortal. He was finished. When Kobe Bryant reached his 20th season, the Mamba had been betrayed by his own body. He was shooting a miserable 35% from the field on a lottery team that was playing for nothing but a farewell tour. It was a legendary career, yes, but the elite production had evaporated. Now look at LeBron James in year 23. He isn't just staying in the league to collect a paycheck or sell jerseys. He is leading the league in the heat of the playoffs. While Jordan and Kobe were either retired or irrelevant at this age, LeBron is walking into Game 1 as a heavy underdog and setting all-time records in the first 24 minutes. Longevity isn't just about how many years you can hang on to a roster spot. It's about how long you stay elite. No one, and I mean no one, in the history of this sport has ever maintained this level of terrifying physical and mental peak performance for this long. People want to cry about soft eras or load management, but you can't load manage your way to 13 assists in a high-stakes playoff win against the fastest, most athletic team in the Western Conference. The Ghost in Chicago never faced this kind of sustained, decades-long pressure. LeBron has played 2 entire Hall of Fame careers worth of minutes, and in 2026, he is still the best player on the hardwood. The debate isn't just leaning in his favor, it is officially obliterated. If you value greatness, you value the impossible reality we are seeing right now. The king didn't just pass them, he outlasted, outplayed, and outclassed them. Case closed.
Listen to me closely. The most dangerous part of LeBron James's game in 2026 isn't his vertical leap or his rim-rocking dunks, it's the terrifying synergy he has developed with JJ Redick. In Game 1, we saw a tactical slaughter. One team walked onto that floor looking prepared, disciplined, and surgical, while the other team spent 48 minutes guessing. As Perk famously put it, the Rockets couldn't hit a bull in the ass with an ironing board, but the Lakers had a high-level, elite-tier game plan that left Ime Udoka's squad in the dust. JJ Redick didn't just coach his first playoff game, he outmaneuvered a veteran like Udoka, and he did it because he has the greatest on-court general in the history of the sport. We saw the cutting, the flawless ball movement, and the absolute unwavering trust between the bench and the floor. When LeBron James is your primary ball handler and he decides to invest his trust in guys like Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard, the game doesn't just get difficult for the opponent, it becomes a messy nightmare. And let's talk about availability, because that is a GOAT-level trait.
Look at the Kevin Durant situation. KD couldn't even make it to the floor for a massive Game 1 because of a bruised knee, despite having days of rest. Meanwhile, LeBron James, in his 23rd year, is out here playing high-impact daddy ball with zero signs of slowing down. He is proving to the world that being the GOAT isn't just about scoring titles or highlight reels. It's about preparation, durability, and the God-tier ability to take a roster that every expert already counted out and elevate them to championship-level execution. The Rockets tried everything to junk up the game and turn it into a physical brawl, but they forgot one thing. LeBron James thrives in the junk. He thrives in the chaos. He took that underdog tag the media tried to pin on him and wore it like a diamond-encrusted crown. He manipulated every single Rockets defensive rotation, lured them into traps, and exploited their youth until they were gasping for air. If you can't see the absolute genius in how he dismantled Houston tonight, then quite frankly, you don't know basketball. You're just watching the ball go through the hoop while the king is playing a game of 4D chess that you aren't even smart enough to follow. So here is the final verdict. You can keep your nostalgia, you can keep your what-ifs and your back-in-my-day stories. But the reality is happening right in front of your eyes. LeBron James is the real GOAT because he has conquered time. He has conquered the most talented era in NBA history. He has conquered the expectations of a world that wanted him to fail since he was 16. Game 1 was a statement. It was a warning. It was a reminder that as long as LeBron James is breathing, the Lakers are never the underdogs. The Rockets have a problem, the NBA has a problem, and the haters, they have a reality they can no longer deny. The debate is buried. The king is still on the throne, and he's not going anywhere. Respect the greatness while you still can. Lakers in the driver's seat, LeBron is the GOAT, case closed. I'll see you for Game 2.